as the latest. Chad, we've been through a lot of these over the years, and I don't recall many times hearing 185 miles per hour.
No, the closest I can remember even reporting on was Haiyan, and that was in the eastern Pacific there, way out to the west near the Philippines, and that was 195, and we had Anderson Cooper on the ground there for weeks covering that event. This thing went right over Barbuda. It did damage. We have not heard from that island in now 6 hours. It also went over St. Martin and Anguilla, and it is truly right now over the British Virgin Islands. There's an island right there, Virgin Gorda, Bitter End Yacht Club right there. I don't understand this, but Sir Richard Branson is on that island right there in a wine cellar. I think when he gets out of there later today, I think he will tell us what a unwise decision that was to ride this 185-mile-per-hour wind out. Everything will be demolished on those islands there in the BVI, and probably not faring much better will be the U.S. Virgin Islands from Charlotte Amalie all the way up to Magens Bay. This will be a devastating impact. When we know about parts of Bermuda, they're saying at some spots, as the hurricane went over, ripped all the vegetation out of the ground. There's not a bit of vegetation left. So where does it go from here? It gets into the Turks and Caicos, but there's not much land there, so we don't expect too much of a loss of power. Still 160, then 155, and maybe making a turn toward Florida. I say maybe, because if we look at all these models, they all turn this storm very hard to the right, John. Very hard. But when does that happen? Does that happen right over Monroe County and on up into Miami-Dade? That would be likely the most devastating hurricane in U.S. history. Does it turn to the right and go over the Bahamas? For the Bahamas, a devastating hit here. Or does it wait and get all the way west of Key West and get west of here? This is less likely. This is somewhere in the middle, and this right here is, as most of the computer models now are talking, a slight right turn just to the east of Miami Beach, but still Miami Beach could have winds of 150. Could you imagine what that would do to the high-rises and the buildings and everything on Miami Beach? That would be a real mess. Now, that's still 4.5 days away, so keep that in mind.